What's going on, everybody? PHXGaming here. Thank you for stopping by, and today we are going to be going over on how to get every named item in the light zone. And when I mean light zone, I mean in New York City and in Washington, DC. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So what I wanted to start with first is going over every named gear piece in the light zone that you can acquire from Washington, D.C. and New York City. Now, this information is going to be well known for new players, so I don't expect any veteran players to actually have any use for this video or even want to watch it, because if you've been playing for a long time in the Division 2, you should already know how to acquire these pieces, where to look for, and how to get them as efficiently as possible. But to start off with this, for any veterans that are watching this video, definitely leave your comments below and any tips and tricks you might have for new players that want to get their hands on these certain pieces. Now, before we actually dive right into this template, I just want to give a major thank you to LIL-COOKS and ABRAX. This is LIL-COOKS' template. She designed this, and it is just by far absolutely very informational, and having her allow me to use this in my video and to get the information out there is well appreciated. So definitely give her a follow if you have Twitter at Cooks-Little, at Cooks-Little. Definitely you want to hit her up. You want to follow her. She makes these awesome templates, and there's going to be more to come throughout the videos. I will definitely leave the link to her Flickr account where the templates are that you can use and post up on a second screen if you have one, or use it for your information. But definitely a major shout out to her. She did an amazing job with this, and I'm very fortunate that she was able to make this and bring it to you guys here on the channel and throughout the community. So definitely hit her up, and also hit up ABRAX as well, at ABRAX, and follow them on Twitch. They're awesome people. They're just absolutely amazing, and they're very, very helpful in the community. So now let's get right into what the actual name gear pieces are within the light zone itself. So now we have the Alp Summit Armament Backpack, Percussive Maintenance with perfect tech support, China Industries Backpack Strategic Alignment with perfect shock and awe, Golden Gear LTD Backpack with Anarchist Cookbook, Hannah U Backpack with Force Multiplier, Araldi Chest Armor with Pristine Example, Badger Tough Armor 0Fs, Perfectly Unbreakable, Heliguard Chest Armor Point Man, Perfect Vanguard, Golden Gear LTD Chest Hunter Armor Hunter Killer, Perfect Intimidate, Petrov Defense Group Chest Armor, Vetemetista Vest, Perfect Brace, Providence Defense Chest Armor, The Sacrifice, Perfect Glass Cannon, Walker Harrison Co. Chest Armor, Chain Killer, Perfect Headhunter, Alp Summit Armament Motherly Love, plus 10% skill health, Petrov Defense Group Gloves, Contractor Gloves, 8% damage to armor, Soul Glove Concern Gloves from Handshake, plus 15% status effects, Badger Tough Holster, Ammo Dump, plus 10% ammo capacity, Richter and Kaiser Holster Forge, 50% shield health, Overlord knee pads, Fox's Prayer, 8% damage to target out of cover, Douglas and Harding mask, Punch Drunk, 20% headshot damage, and then Heliguard mask, Night Watcher, 100% scanner pulse. So after all of the named gear pieces, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, what is the best ways to acquire all of these named items? Well, a lot of it is going to have to do with RNG. However, with the targeted loot system and a few tips and tricks, I will show you how to acquire these named gear pieces with minimal effort. Now, some gear pieces are going to have to be completed by doing your special research field guides. And with this, that's going to take time. Other pieces, it is by chance that they drop in the open world, but with TU 10.1 or with TU 10 in general, the named item drop list has been increased to have a higher drop chance. And with doing your special difficulty within the open world, or doing your level 4 control points on heroic and even legendary missions, you're going to have a better chance of doing the hardest content by acquiring the named item gear pieces. So now to begin, what we're going to start off with is the field researches. Now, if you have the if you bought the season 1 passive in the very beginning, you're going to have all of these field researches unlocked. But the ones that you want to maintain a focus on are the Firewall, Gunner, and the Technician field researches, because each one of these is going to have the ability to unlock the blueprints for special named items. So with the technician specialization in the field research step 2, you're going to be able to unlock the motherly love blueprint, which we went over, which are the gloves, and you'll be able to craft these at the crafting station. With gunner, you're going to be able to unlock the Vedmedistia vest print. And then with the firewall specialization, you'll be able to unlock the ammo dump blueprint. So now with that in mind, as soon as you're able to acquire these blueprints from the special field research, they will then drop from the open world. So just keep that in mind. So the next one that I want to go over is the Hunter Killer, which is the perfect Intimidate. Now, as you can see, I have not even touched the hunters here in New York and in Washington, D.C., okay? I haven't touched a single one of them. Now, as soon as you do acquire all of the hunters, get their keys and everything like that, you're going to be able to get the off-white key. Open this up, and then you're going to have that perfect Intimidate, the Hunter Killer, drop. And then as you open that, that's going to be able to drop from the open world. So, and then this is going to come another video about how to get all the hunter masks and the rewards you'll get from that. Okay, so now that we went over the special field research guide for how to get those named items and then how to get the Hunter Killer by killing all of the hunters in New York and DC, all the new ones at least, now we're just going to go right into like the tips and tricks about how you can go and acquire the other named gear items. Now, keep this in mind. This is just for the named gear items. This isn't for the weapons, though the weapons do kind of share the same point in basics, but I'll make that in another video for you guys. That way it's all separated and it's not completely overbearing. But with the targeted loot system that was introduced a while ago in the Division 2, this is going to be your best bet to acquire these named items. So, for example, we're in New York City. Say you want to get the contractor's gloves with Petrov. The best way to do this right now is to farm this area here from these 2 control points. Now, with the 2 control points here, the tip for being able to acquire the contractor's gloves when it's a control point, or for any control point for that matter, is not killing every single enemy that you see. And what I mean by that is, get through the phase 1 of the control point. So you want to eliminate every person that you see, every enemy that you see, phase 1. So the first boss. But as soon as phase 2 starts, what you want to do is just start eliminating the enemies until the final boss arrives. Kill the final boss, move back to the safe house, and then come back, because what that's going to do is going to refresh the boss encounter. Now, this is not considered an exploit. This is a legit farming method. It hasn't been patched out. I haven't seen anything from the devs about it, but it is a way to constantly keep grinding for that perfectly god-rolled piece of gear that you can acquire for the contractor's gloves or any other named item piece. So as you can see, as soon as I killed the boss, and only the boss, I did take out the 2 rushers as well, but because there were enemies still alive, I'm able to travel back to the safe house, and then I'm going to travel back to the force attacking that control point, and this is going to refresh that instance. This is going to refresh the waves. This is going to refresh the final boss, and you're just going to want to keep doing this over and over and over again and grind for that specific piece of gear that you want. And this does come in handy. This is better than going in, attacking the control point, clearing the control point, resetting it for 10 seconds, and then coming back to it. This allows you to consistently farm for that specific piece of gear that you want. And you could do this with any control point. It's not limited to just New York City, and it's not limited to just certain things. You could do this with any control point. So say you wanted to farm for a God Roll Providence chest piece, then you could definitely hit up a control point that Providence is at, and then just start farming it over and over and over again. So say you're in New York again, and now you've got the holsters. Okay, so you want the Forge, that 50% shield health. You could farm either the mission. So for instance, Pathway Park is a holster allocation, but you also have an open world. The same principle applies. If you want to try your chance at getting the holster, the 50% shield health with Richter and Kaiser, then farm the mission. If you find farming the missions fun and easier rather than doing the open world, then do that. But if you find farming the open world easier and doing the method that I just told you about killing all the enemies up until the last boss of phase 2 and then going back to the safe house and coming back to reset it, then do that. Efficiently, you're going to want to do you're going to want to farm open world. You're not going to want to farm the missions because the drop chance of the missions, yes, the holster allocation does have a higher drop chance and the named item gear does have a higher drop chance. But at this point in time, you're more efficient at doing the method that I just told you about farming the control points. So now you're probably thinking to yourself, okay, well, what if I don't want to farm the missions? What if I don't want to farm the open worlds? What if I'm just looking for specific pieces of gear and then I'm just going to log off? Well, you can always try your hand at Cassie Mendoza. So now the best way to get to Cassie Mendoza is, if you haven't known already, is to find the snitch. So now where I'm fast traveling to, Dark Zone South at Golf checkpoint, he usually about 99% of the time will show up in this specific area. That way you can find him and then you'll be able to find out where Cassie Mendoza is. So again, you're going to want to fast travel to Golf Checkpoint DZ South, run over here, past this little house type thing, and then he's going to be down here over by this statue. You go up to him, you find him, and then he's going to give you the location of Cassie Mendoza herself. That way you could go ahead and see what type of gear she has available. Now she has the Sacrifice as a high-end, the chest piece. So if you didn't want to farm the open world for Providence chest piece, so for instance, the Providence chest piece is over here at West End. If you didn't want to farm that and you are looking specifically for that piece of gear, then always check out Cassie Mendoza because she has named items. She's got the shield splitter for taking out the first wave of hunters, and then she's got, another named item weapon, and then she also has a named gear piece. So like for the Sacrifice, if you didn't want to farm the Sacrifice, you could definitely go ahead and get buy the named piece of item and just use that, and roll off one of these and then add your mod that you want to this. But it's not always going to be beneficial to do this because you're not going to get what you want. So like if you're farming for a God rolled Sacrifice and you see this here that it has weapon damage and it's got 2 defense attributes, then you're probably not going to want it if you're trying to go for a DPS build. If you're trying to make a hybrid build of DPS and defense, then yeah, okay, I can see you wanting this, but always try and take a chance at farming for the best gear out in the open world if you have the time. It is here for people to just come in, grab it, log off, and that's it because they don't have a lot of time. But if you do have that time, then definitely try and go for what you want. That way you are happy with what you get without having to sacrifice or ending up with something that isn't going to make your build optimal. So now that you know how to go about getting these named gear pieces within New York City and Washington, D.C., you're probably thinking to yourself, okay, well, what is the best named gear piece that I can get right now that I should start to grind for? Well, the top 2, honestly, in my opinion, are going to be the Contractor's Gloves with the 8% damage to armor because that is multiplicative, along with Fox's Prayer knee pads with 8% damage to target out of cover, which is also multiplicative. Now, these are specifically used for DPS builds. These are going to be your best in slot for DPS builds. So it is going to be dependent on what you want to grind for in the very beginning, whether you want to make your tank build, whether you want to make your DPS build, or whether you want to make your skill build. And regardless of this, it's all going to be down to what it is that you're going to want to grind for. So like I said before, the first 2 things, if you're trying to get that DPS, is going to be Contractor's Gloves and going to be Fox's Prayer. Now, if you want to make a build with status effects, go for Anarchist Cookbook first. In the Golden Gear, loot allocation, and grind for it. That way you can get your status effects. Go for Pristine Example for Perfect Focus. Perfect Focus is a top tier talent for DPS builds because it has the up to 60% when aiming down sights. If you want to use the M1A or if you want to use a sniper, it's all up to you. If you're trying to make a take, go for Point Man. You will automatically get Perfect Vanguard when you complete the story missions of Warlords of New York. But if you want a better God rolled point man, healer guard, chest armor, then aim for getting the Perfect Vanguard. So with that in mind, it's all about how you want your builds to be. It's all about how you're going to want to spec out your build, make it optimal, and make it the way you want to play for it. If you're trying to make a synergized group build, then you're probably going to want something like Force Multiplier for perfect combined arms. If you're going to want to be that tank in the new Operation Iron Horse raid, you're probably going to want Point Man to help your teammates out with that a little extra armor when you are running through that raid. If you're trying to go for PvP, then I would recommend you get Perfectly Unbreakable 0F's Badger Tough. You can take off the defensive attribute, the main attribute, and roll it with 50% weapon damage if you really wanted to. It's all about what is going to suit your playstyle and what's going to suit your build. Specifically for me, I like my DPS builds. I do like making skill builds. I like testing stuff out. And I do like a defensive tank builds. You know, I'm an all-around type of build because I give it a chance. I give things a chance. I like using Fox's Prayer. I like using Punch Drunk, and I like using Contractor's Gloves. Maybe not so much Contractor's Gloves actually, because I would rather spec a different type of gear piece if you want to use gear sets. It's all about what you want to use. The Sacrifice, I'm not too fond of Perfect Glass Cannon. It is amplified damage, but you're also taking amplified damage from other sources. And, so it's a give and take with that. But it is, again, it's all up to you. Chain Killer's a good one if you want to do headshots. You could pair Chain Killer with Punch Drunk and get that 20% headshot damage along with the talent of Chain Killer, along with the specialization of Sharpshooter, and just have an absolute beast of a marksman build if you're good at headshots. So again, it is all about what it is that you want. And don't let the Venmestia vest go unnoticed, because with the changes to weapon handling, 50%, and it encompasses stability, accuracy, everything regarding the way you use your weapons, it can actually be very, very, very efficient if you know how to spec it and use it efficiently and properly. So other than that, guys, I mean, these are all the named gear pieces in the Light Zone in Washington, D.C. and in New York, and how you can get them. I mean, this is going to wrap it up for the video. I know this video is a lot longer than a lot of my other videos, but I wanted to make sure I touched every basis of how to get these items, how it can benefit you with your build, what the most efficient way is to get them, and just several tips and tricks along the way to help you acquire them throughout your journey in the Division 2. Again, this build is not meant for veterans. For any veterans that are watching this video, if I left something out, please, by all means, leave your comments down in the comment section below. Help out other members of the Division community that are just joining the Division franchise, and let them know what it is that they can aim for and what to get regarding these named gear pieces, because these are actually very powerful gear pieces. And other than that, guys, I mean, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. For all my returning subscribers, thank you so much for taking the time to watch the video, sharing it, liking it, rating it, doing everything that you're supposed to be doing. For all my new subscribers, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. And for anyone that found this video helpful, please, by all means, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, turn on notifications so you don't miss another Division 2 video. I'm going to be making another video this coming week regarding Dark Zone named gear pieces. So if you are wanting to venture into the Dark Zone to get specific gear pieces, stay tuned for that. You're going to want to hit that notification bell, and definitely make sure you hit that like button on this video. It helps with the YouTube algorithm getting this video noticed and getting this video shown. Again, another huge shout out to LIL-COOKS for making these templates. I'm going to link her Flickr page and the Twitter to her and ABRAX down below in the description and in the comment section as well. That way you can follow them, stay up to date with them, because she makes amazing content for the community, and it's very, very helpful, and they're just both really stellar people. So I appreciate everything that they've done, and I really appreciate them allowing me to make this video and use their work, and it is by far a great collaboration. And other than that, guys, again, thank you so much for everything you've done. You help support the channel, and I will be back with another Division 2 video soon. Take care.